The bills are piling in and the prices are going up. Gas, electricity, council tax will all cost more. Lynn is one of many facing sleepless nights, worried about how she'll survive as a single parent with a low income.
No room for any extras. We're already on a budget, a weekly budget.
What is that weekly budget?
My weekly budget for us is £35 to £40.
And so it does mean that you're going to be cutting back on everyday items. We're not talking about luxuries here.
This is basics, yeah.
She's ended up in debt previously and fears it might happen again. So Lynn uses prepay meters, meaning her energy costs even more. So how much have you put on it, Lynn?
That's £5 that's gone on there.
And how long does that usually last?
That will last about a couple of days. How do I prepare for it? There's nothing to prepare because I don't have the money.
Have you talked to your children about this?
My son he's 17. And he said, he's been looking for a job. He goes, I'll try and help you with the gas and electric, Mum. So, yeah, and for my 17-year-old to say that, I know I've brought him up right, but for a 17-year-old to got help with the bills, it's upsetting.
The average energy bill will go up by 50%, an extra £700 per year. Council tax is up on average by 3.5%. Water bills up between £80 and £400 a year, depending on where you live. And phone and broadband bills could rise by up to 9%. In fact, everything is more expensive. Inflation is at a 30-year high of 6%, expected to peak at 8% later this year. And while all of us will face bigger bills, campaigners point out it's those on low incomes who'll have to live on even less.
Being fair to those who are struggling the most at the moment means that you need to give them a much greater level of support than you would to someone who is potentially able to cope. And I think that's the key. It's the balance of what's being offered here just isn't sufficient at all.
This food bank in South East London is seeing more people come in for help. As well as food parcels, they try to offer support with topping up energy meters. But they're especially worried about the elderly people they're seeing.
If you're 70, 80, you can't get a job. Your income is fixed, particularly if you're elderly or disabled. And so therefore, what you're going to do is you're not going to cook. You're not going to eat, you're not going to heat your home, you're just going to wrap yourself up in a duvet.
The government's pledged £22 billion to support people with increasing energy costs. But with rising global prices and the war in Ukraine, everyday life is going to continue getting ever more expensive.